know it's that last week in January when you hear the alert, gang, 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 gang. And January, you thought it was the longest month, is beginning to look shorter because you're waving bye-bye to it. But then January is that biting moment for a lot of people, a time to have your payback. Yes, after 30 December. You pay back with all the expenditure you made, and both planned and unplanned. But then for some people, it is also a time to sit back, re-strategize, so that you can have a better cleaner December, yes, at the end of the year. And then doing that, it means that you must think about your business. Yes, what did I do wrong? How do I get it right? What did I not invest properly in? And how did I not check books and check keeps? You know, whatever it is to ensure that your business gets better. We're going to be looking at common errors in business. Some people say, yes, I am a civil servant, I'm a public servant, I don't have business. Your kitchen is your business. How you save your salary is your business. My name is Elizabeth, and I have a whole house seated with me. Hello. Also, we have somebody who is lost but found. Lost but found. What's a careless owner or careful owner now?
I don't even know it.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
All right. So tell us who you are and what have you been doing with yourself?
My name is Maimuna Umi Abdullah. What have I been doing? Honestly, I just the waka. I just the also.
They make the money.
That's the thing. The money hasn't been coming in. But you know, we keep trying.
Story.
Which kind of story?
Thank you.
Story.
Thank you. Story. Tales by moonlight. Okay, say hello to them now.
Hello. My name is Joy. Jingles by Joy. It's good to be here this morning.
All right. And our new addition on the program is Chef Aisha, and they're wondering, does she cook? And I'm telling them that, anyway, let me not empty, just tell us who you are.
Okay, my name is Aisha Alkali. Yes, I'm a chef, businesswoman. I run a restaurant called Charcoal.
Charcoal, where you go in, and it's all grills and a lot of sweet things happening around.
Absolutely.
Valentine is coming.
Looking fatter than you. So you all right. It's important to introduce everyone as per what they do, because in one way or the other, we all get involved in businesses, and sometimes we don't get it right, sometimes we get it wrong. And before now, I'm going to have to bust your bubbles, because you were saying I'll never go to Lagos. That was behind camera. I'm making it my business in front of camera, and that's because you made bad business.
Yeah, I did.
30 December.
Oh yes, I did. I think I went for Dirty December, trying to get my money's worth, and when I got to Lagos, I just realized that it was the waste. And the way Nigeria is now, it's not a place that you, any little kobo or naira you're making, you want to save it. The only advantage I had in Lagos was that I made sales, but at the end of the day, that same sales that I made, I had to now spend it. So in the profit you think you're making, you now realize that you've already spent, because going to Lagos, I had it planned. I've always been a planner. I don't just wake up one morning and just hop anywhere and say I'm going somewhere. So what I did was, okay, this is the amount I'm going to spend. In Abuja, Uber, in a day, I don't think you should spend more than 10,000. So here I was going to Lagos for only transport. I was spending close to 100K, and I found that to be very silly. Because the bottom line here is that I don't think there's any outfit that I will make that is up to 100K. So why am I spending that kind of money? So that's aside the food, other things that go with how I was supposed to enjoy my holiday. So for me, if you ask me again, will I go to Lagos for 30 December? Nope. I'll rather stay here, save my money, and still enjoy myself.
Okay, that's part of business strategy. Common errors we must avoid. But let me go to Aisha, who is our everyday go-to if we must stay alive. You know, I'm just wondering, how is January for the food business?
First, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
January is it's actually a slow month. But again, you still have the regulars, you still have the regulars come in because business people. Everybody's back to business. People are having business lunch, dinners, people's birthdays. Yes, different from December, which is like a holiday season. People are toning down and, celebrating. But, it's really not that bad. But it is a quiet season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I chip in there?
Yeah.
For somebody who has a restaurant and all that. January for me, when it comes to food, I think because of the fasting period for we Christians, because most churches, that's before Lent. Most churches are fasting.
Yeah.
And so most of the time it's 14 days, 21 days. So I know many people who are into food business. They say they don't make sales in January. Why? Because many people are fasting. So if you have to break your fast at 6, 7, why would you go and have so much in the restaurant? So most of the people, because you have your regulars, it's okay. But fasting period for me, many restaurants may not sell because of the fasting period.
Okay, but Coach Didi, you will not tell me that your business is slow this period.
It's slow now.
It cannot be slow, I beg. I've been coming for production, you have not shown up.
That is different. That is a different matter. That's a different matter. Because to be honest, I'm in consultancy and training. January is always slow. The first quarter of the year is in fact it's dead. It's not slow. It's dead. Because most times it's at the end of the year, most organizations do trainings because of the budget. So we're just strategizing, trying to get to new clients, writing to organizations, telling them the programs we're going to have this year so that hopefully by May, June, we can get it.
It picks up.
Okay, it simply means that for people whose businesses are slow this period, must do a lot of budgeting and saving ahead of time. But let's quickly go to some of the packages we have. Get to find out the common errors in business. Business is defined as the ability to identify a need in a given area, source and fill the void created by that need with the barest yet efficient cost. To achieve this has been rather very tough for some people. Why? Below are some common errors in business. Poor financial management and record keeping. Mixing personal and business finances, not tracking cash flow, and inadequate bookkeeping can run your business off the radar. Ignoring digital presence and marketing. That the world is a global village is not just another cliche, it is real. Neglecting online platforms for more visibility limits your potential customers within this global village. Lack of proper market research. Launching products or services without understanding the target audience or market demand will only be wasting your time and resources. Skipping a business plan. Passion is good. In fact, passion is very good. But operating based on passion alone without a clear roadmap for growth, operations, and success dooms you on arrival. Remember, faith without work never guarantees paradise. Ignoring regulatory compliance. Delaying or avoiding business registration with Corporate Affairs Commission, CSE, and tax obligations only helps you to plan to fail. Underestimating competition. Knowing and preparing for that opponent is key to the apex. Failing to differentiate the business will give you a low visibility in a crowded market. Poor customer service. Failure to prioritize your client's satisfaction will result in low customer retention and damage your reputation. Poorly managed inventory and supply chain. Overstocking or understocking due to poor forecasting in an inflationary economy is a perfect recipe for failure. Failure to adapt to economic changes. Rigid business models that cannot withstand pressures from inflation or shifting customer behavior will never go far. Neglecting employee training and retention. High staff exit due to poor management and development can weaken the business structure. Training and retraining of self and then your staff will keep your business afloat. Okay, thank you, my winning team, for that. I also know that you went extra mile to find out from Nigerians, just a few people, representative women really, if they are also encountering these errors. Let's see what you got.
As a business owner, you should know how to get your profits, how to get back the capital you use in starting that business. That was one mistake I did. I didn't know my target audience. I didn't know the level at which I was going to make profits and how I wanted to get back my capital. I was just doing it because I didn't want to be idle. Let it be oh, okay, I'm doing so. If someone should ask me, what am I doing? I'm like, oh, I have a business and all that, just for the whole idea that, oh, I'm a business owner. I was more interested in finding where my mistakes were coming from. I had to sit down, think of how to improve my business. Let me give it an example. I sell drinks. I wanted to consistency. As of then, I wasn't consistent in my business. I had to make sure that I was consistent in everything I was doing. In a situation whereby I own a shop and someone is coming to look for me and I'm not always there, the person won't want to come back because he already has this mindset that, oh, she's not always at the shop, let me go somewhere else. So yeah, consistency was part of my issue back then, but I worked on it. That's it. And when it comes to ways in managing my capital, I was able to manage it and at the same time get my profits. I was able to look at those things that were taking more expenses from me. So yeah, I took record of all those things. I listened to what my target audience needed at that point, because I was just selling based on, okay, I'm seeing people selling it, let me join them, but I didn't know what those things were. So I paid more attention to what it was and how it benefits people and what people really needed at that point.
Basic advice I have for upcoming business owners is that you don't get carried away by how cash is flooding into your account. Do well to document every single penny you own and know how much you're supposed to spend, know how much you're supposed to save, know how much you're supposed to invest, so you don't lose track of money.
We will quickly hit on what was said. A lot of comments were coming as they were going. We talked about people not picking their calls. You're running a business and you give me a contact number, and I call you, you don't answer. How do you expect me? In fact, even in our offices, there are people who we know never answer calls. And you never can tell when they are calling you to get ready and go to America. You know what I mean?
One of them.
You're one of them.
I don't pick calls.
Why?
No, because I'm doing too many things at the same time.
But that's why you should use the headset.
No, I do. I use my earpiece most of the time when I'm in the car. But I always tell people, I don't think I really like calls. I think I like messages.
Yeah, I think you can work on what you, if you know your preference.
So what
you
if
can
you're
tell your customers to send messages instead of calls.
Exactly. I prefer messages too, really. So if I'm going to open a business and my go-to will be my phone number, I'm going to be specific, WhatsApp only. Just like I tell people here on the program, please don't call. Send only your messages, text message or WhatsApp. Because I know that's
I don't have a driver. So I have to drive myself. So I don't think I want to be listening to, because if you're making an order I have to write it down. I have to scribble something. So how am I going to be driving and doing that same thing at the same time? So that's why most of the time I think I have maybe in the evenings or very early in the mornings after prayer time and all that. That's when I do all that work. So most of the time I think maybe your client should understand the kind of your own workspace, how it works for
Okay,
you.
when you put out
your client cannot understand your work.
when you put out your call period,
you write it.
So why don't you say, like in hospitals, they
Business
say
hours, yeah?
visiting hour,
Yeah, business hours.
is so
Da, da, da,
and so.
yeah.
Then you try as much as possible to hang around the phone at that time. If you're driving and a call comes as business, you can clear off an answer or tell the person, can I quickly park?
No, I won't clear. I've never been a clear because most of the time when you park, some people, I don't know what happens.
It all depends on where you
No,
are.
I don't do parkings. Even when it's raining, I don't do parkings because I have this phobia that somebody might
will
just
mob
come
you.
and just
And it does
not
happen.
mob. Yeah,
It
yeah,
does
you know.
happen.
So I
It does
don't do
happen.
that. But you see, what I do is that most of my friends know me. They send messages to. I am a, what do you call it, social media person. So if you can't get me on WhatsApp, you get me on Insta. If you don't get me on Insta, you get me on Facebook. So most of the time, the bottom line here is that I respond. I don't waste time.
Ignore.
That's it. But there's some people, when you send them a message, it takes them 3 weeks to respond.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I've had
Yeah.
And you run a business?
I have had experiences. All right, so I will want to quickly go to Aisha, who I know you're managing, staff strength, you're managing a place, and I want to know how you're able to cut down costs. I was discussing you with Joy, and you told me about your lovely garden. You want to share a bit of how you cut costs for us?
Okay, cutting costs is it's not easy, especially if you have a standard. But what I try to do is I try to deal with the source. That's dealing with farmers directly. I prefer and always like to buy directly from farmers. That would help us cut costs. And because a restaurant, our kind of restaurant is not that large profit, so we have to be careful in how we source. And then I thought, I have a big backyard, why don't I farm some of these things? But the farming came because I'm an organic freak.
Organic?
Yes. So
wow.
And people kept on, it's impossible, you have to do this, but I did a lot of research for a year. And I found out I could treat the ground with just vinegar. I could walk organically. And, I know today things like cucumbers come from my backyard. And our herbs, a lot of things, I know it's not big. It's not massive. But, we get a lot of things from that way I'm able to not only cut costs, but also to control what we eat.
Okay.
Yes.
That's nice. There was another thing that came up on that, feature we just watched, and it was talking about staff and customer service.
Yeah.
A lot of times we walk into eatery, service areas, and we get pissed off even on arrival.
Yeah.
And it takes the grace of a very good soup for me to continue to sit down with.
Absolutely.
How are you able to, manage that in your outfit?
Yeah, but for me, I have zero tolerance in that.
Zero tolerance.
Because I always tell my staff, just see me as your main customer and just walk with me, because it's something I would not do. I can't walk into a place and I'm not welcomed. I'm not, little things, customer service, I would rather not eat. I would walk out, I would complain. So we train them.
Okay. Training, that's the thing.
I train them, and they now understand that it's very, very important. And I make them know that they decide whether the business is successful or not, because they're the first point of contact. And they decide what we sell, how we sell. It's quite important. And I make them understand that, they're my mirror, because they're the face of the business, and your people, your staff, tells a lot about who you are in person.
Sure.
So it's more of training, and I won't even say it's a Nigerian thing, it's all over. Customer service, I don't know, it's just one big thing, but it's something that you just have to be on ground, you have to keep on training, you have to correct, and you have to be open to feedback, because that's the only way you can make corrections. And make sure that your team, you carry them along and they really understand the importance of customer service.
It's something that it's a bit difficult for me. Sometimes is ability to separate capital and profit, and I'm glad I'm not the only person. A lot of people mentioned it. I don't know if Coach Didi is also in that box. Money comes in from one small business you've done, and you're like, ooh, I have this money, I have this money. I remember when my daughter was learning to bake, and she started turning out good cakes. And we felt, okay, we can actually sell, because we've done a lot of giveaways with cakes. And I'll ask her, how do they call that thing again? Is it, the tins come in sizes, 8, 10
inches,
12 inches, 10 inches. I say, how much is it? She will tell you. And then she would tell me almost amount that was like 50% of what I would get in a fast food cake, and their cake is not well, processed for as much as she does her own, so it has more quality. I'm like, your cake is so cheap. She said, yes, I bought flour, I bought this, I bought that, and by the time we check it, it's a question of just what she put in that she could see. And I said, you're using my gas cooker. You're paying for gas.
Yes.
You're using my mixer,
free. Your power,
and the
power,
free.
Manpower.
Yes.
Sometimes you hoist me out of my kitchen. I have to drink coffee instead of making the yam pepper soup I want to take. Because I have to give you your time to do. When they start this thing, they spread out.
Absolutely.
How are we going to equate that? I have to send her to a business school to learn how to make good costing out of what she's doing. And it came out. The first time I told her to make cake for me, she charged me. I didn't say anything. I paid. When she finished, I took time to check what was my electric unit when you started. Where was it? Where it stopped? So pay me for that unit. Pay me for my gas. Pay me for this and all of that. So it's a bit difficult for us to get those costings right. And I'm wondering, all of you are into one thing or the other. How do we begin to remove that error so we don't, see the money that is just dumping into our accounts and we get confused? How do we go
For
about
me,
it?
honestly, I had to get a business. I hired a business coach.
Okay.
Because like many people, I started out as a coach and a trainer out of passion.
Okay.
I loved doing it. So
Yeah,
it wasn't something that I wanted to make money in until I realized the trainings were really expensive. So I needed a way to buffer it and things like that. So I started to actually give back what I learned. But I wasn't seeing any money, to be honest. I wasn't, first of all, I wanted to build a brand. I wanted my trainings to be exceptional. I wanted the food to be exceptional. God forbid I do training with packet food. This jollof rice that's yellow color and one. I just needed, I am a foodie, I love food. So for me, learning while eating.
I love this sweet pasta.
No, not patty jollof. Yellow jollof is different from patty jollof rice. This one, they just put color.
Oh, wow.
Not
curry.
that one. Yeah, curry.
It's curry.
So I wanted to be in a space that even if I was one that paid for it, I would love it. So it meant I had to spend more. And I wasn't concerned about the money I spent or the profit. And I tell people, I remember when I started as a consultant, many of my friends at that time, they said, you're spending too much, because I put in too much money into the training itself. So I didn't have much profit. But most people would just, okay, this is what I'm charging. I'm charging 100,000 per head. 12 people register, that's 1.2 million. Then they would remove like 400,000 first and keep aside, and then use the remaining to do training. For me, no. I will do everything I need to do for the training. Whatever remains, is a profit. So, and then that was when my coach told me, I understand what you're trying to do, Coach Didi. You want to build a brand, you want to be known for excellence, right? But at the same time, you need to make profit.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make profit, then you cannot have the training again.
Yeah.
So he taught me, okay, this is, put the, just like your daughter now, the cost for this, the cost for that, because, and it was huge because it was mind-blowing. And I realized that, okay, oh, so really, I was actually not making profit at all because I didn't put in my talent. I didn't pay myself. You know, I didn't pay for transport because I transported myself. I didn't pay for the transportation of my staff because I transported them. So it was an eye-opening thing for me. I now began to write down everything. Then he taught me that also at the end of the month, every month, whatever amount of money comes into me, I have headings. This is from coaching, this is from the books I sold, this is from one-on-one, this is from school, this is from... So it made me begin to track the monies that were coming in. Yeah.
Okay, for me, years ago in Lagos, I had a shop, you know, for 10 years.
For 10 years?
Yeah, for 10 years. Yeah, for 10 years. And I normally never used to sleep. The tailors frustrated the living daylight out of me. Then the thing here was that rent, every 1 year, they were increasing. You know, when you want to pay for 2 years, they discourage you, you know. But I even went to a cheaper part of town, which was Isaliko, and I was paying high. So the only problem I had when I went to Isaliko is that my clientele thought the place was like a dingy kind of place. So here I was. You see, the thing here is that before you start a business,
Research.
don't just dabble into what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
You have to set a goal. Who are my clients? If I have these clients, are they going to come here? Am I, like in Nigeria, you don't have middle or it's either the rich or the poor now. Okay, who are the people who will be able to afford what you're doing? So here I had tailors who I think were friends, which was a bad thing for me. When they leave, all of them leave together. When they don't come, all of them don't come together. So you see, it was a big problem for me.
They had a union for you.
They had. So you see, the thing here was now, I was spending so much money and I was getting little. So when I moved to Abuja, I said, no, I wasn't going to do it again because I just felt I wanted to live longer. I didn't want to have high blood pressure. And one thing about me is that my sanity is so key for me. So I just sat down, how am I going to survive? So I decided to say, okay, let me go back to what I normally do. I now started. But one thing I did, I'm not paying rent. So I just have some tailors that I know my standard. And that's why I'm doing it now. But the only problem now is that overheads are eating into my profit. Because most of the time, when people want to make outfits, but it's too expensive. After all, how much is the thing? And I told them, I'm not working for you. You think there's a big profit, but by the time you start to pay for the things you have used, you now realize that you're not making anything for yourself. But the only good thing here is that I sleep well. It's either it works or it doesn't work. And I'm making good profit. I must be honest with that. Yeah.
Okay, some people are writing here. I will probably take just one and continue later. Somebody says, good morning, Nigerians. Good morning. NTA Conversations. Good morning to all the ladies. Elizabeth, Madam Aisha, Kali, big fashion designer, Madam Maimuna. You really took time to catch all the names. Please, you should all advise me. I'm a civil servant. All my salary will finish a day due to buying food items. The same thing with my colleagues. The only saving of mine is when travel for official assignments. I'll save for school fees things. Alhamdulillah. Thank God I don't collect loans from bank, but my colleagues collect loan from banks because they rent house in Abuja and outside Abuja. I stay in my father's house in Gwarimpa, Abuja. Thank you for your efforts. From Alhaji Amini. Dahiru Chiroma Baraden Bauchi from Bauchi State. Okay, this is a tough one. Yeah. Do you have any advice?
Honestly, it's a tough one because, to be honest, this is something I've been hearing, and I can't really explain. I can't really give an advice because I don't run, like, I'm a wife. I have someone who actually funds my lifestyle, to be honest. But from what I hear from most people is, you honestly need to find a side hustle that can pay. That's just it.
Period.
You need a side hustle.
Period.
If you're a civil servant, we all know the salary cannot take us home. No. It can't take you home. So think of something, a service you can provide that you can be paid for. But again, there's a caveat here. It cannot affect your main job. True. Because you cannot have a side hustle that takes you away from the office and say, Coach Didi said so. No.
Okay.
What can you provide?
Excuse me. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a man.
That means he's not married.
Well, he
could be
in his father's,
his father's house. He could be married.
He could be married. When you're a man, you don't marry and
even has chieftaincy title. He should be married. I don't think they give singles.
Okay, the chieftaincy title.
Yeah. And he stays in his father's house.
No, he means his father owns the house.
Okay,
it's his father's house.
Yeah. I get it now.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm thinking that what you said is exactly what is applied. One should have side hustles, and then at the same time, so for everything in the market. When I say everything, I mean almost everything, including human beings.
Yeah.
If you want to marry a wife today, there's an alternative to the one you want to marry, which is too expensive.
Exactly.
I mean, if her village is the place that will ask you for millions, look for another person that is from another village. Like Abriba, we all collect 7 naira.
Are you serious?
So, I'm very serious. 7 naira is my bride price.
What?
Because I go school.
7 naira.
If I did not go to school, university, it would have been 6 naira.
Your Igbo is different. Other people, I see the bride price is not the same.
That's why I said you go to a village.
Everybody will get in level.
Exactly. So the same thing goes if you go to the market. Everything you want to buy, there's always an alternative that is cheaper. So you look for that alternative and you get used to it and buy it. And a lot of times it doesn't mean that it's not as effective or as good as the other one. It's just a question of choice, you know. And then I also think that you go into communal efforts within your offices. You can team up and buy something and split. You know, that way you get involved.
Actually,
cooperatives. Even friends. If you have good friends, you can team up. Somebody called me for stockfish. You know, buy a bag and split it, and it can last you for as much as 3 months, 6 months. Something like tire. A lot of us women, me inclusive, I don't look at certain things. When is my tire expiring?
Absolutely.
You know, all those things. So if you know
does it work?
You structure it ahead of time.
Okay.
But how long is it supposed to last? Because for me, I had to change my hair. I changed my tires in 2 years, and I was shocked.
4 years, you didn't look at it. When you're buying your tire, for instance, you're in 2026 now. So this early in the year, they wouldn't have produced for 2026. But by April, 2026 will come in. So you can now go to tire shop, buy 2026. It simply means your tire will be expiring somewhere around 2030. And even that 2030, if you're not used to using it that much, it's not going to really give you a problem. But road safety will stop you and ask you why are you wearing, wrong tire.
So that's 4 years. What are you saying? You see, the thing here is that, they have duration time and all that. But the problem is that you're dealing with roads that are not so good. Don't talk about this other road, this bridge. If you enter real Abuja, you will now find out the roads, and there's sometimes you get into the ditch. You know, a friend of mine told me something. Oh, why did you spend all that money for tire when you can get second hand? I cannot do second hand.
Don't do that.
No,
that's
but
not
guess what? Many people are doing because we can afford it. You know, you made
Most
a statement.
people cannot afford new tires.
You know, you made a statement here is that you go check your own level. Many people I know are doing second hand.
Absolutely.
So my darling, the issue here is that we just pray that the tires will buy. You will get your money's worth.
That's it.
Amen. It's a prayer.
Yes.
Amen.
It is.
Now, I'll still go back to you on business owners, especially the small and medium scale.
Yeah.
You know, how do you factor in, regulatory agencies to ensure that you don't have problems?
I made a face.
Wala.
He said, wala. Did I just pull a tail?
Yes.
Sincerely speaking, I don't know. It's one thing that I'm just going to control myself, because it's one thing that when I start talking about it,
I see you're already tapping
yes,
your
I'm
feet
tapping my feet
because you're angry.
I am.
Yeah.
It's
I
sad.
am, and it's so painful because you're here trying to do your best, and you're providing almost 25 families, job, 30, and they come. If only they streamline it and we know this is what we're supposed to do. But imagine somebody comes in and says, this is television
Tax.
whatever.
Yeah, I got it too.
And then in 2 weeks' time, another television people come. And you're like, but those ones, well, they are not from our office. How are we supposed to know? And it's just, I pray that the government will deal with this, because it is disturbing.
Yeah.
In a week, you can get like bills for almost 600,000.
How much do you make it that you're paying bills for?
They
600?
don't care. And the annoying part, when they come
there
to
a mission to,
they come with
close your
security,
business?
Yes.
as if
To intimidate you.
they intimidate you, and it's so bad. It is very dirty, I would say.
Yeah.
It is bad, and really is not good for business.
To be honest, I was shocked about the
Yeah.
television tax. I had just opened my office at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fraud because first of all, there's no TV in my office.
No, it wasn't even she wasn't just exaggerating.
No, it's true.
You pay a tax for owning a TV.
Yes,
In
and I
your
don't.
office.
No, listen to this. I don't have a TV in my office, and they insisted I should pay for it. I said, how can I
Signboard.
pay for what I don't have?
No, the signboard
don't
is
get
I don't have a
crazy.
TV.
The signboard
They even
is
come and
crazy.
say that you're playing music that
You pay for music.
yes, you're supposed to pay for piracy. They confuse you.
It's-
And I'm like, okay,
no,
what if we're using Spotify, which
Yeah.
we pay, we subscribe for? No, we don't care. You have to pay. It's ridiculous. I'm okay with the hygiene, health control, and okay, those are okay. But even those ones, you
But are
have
you
at
supposed to
least
pay for that?
duplicate.
I don't think that's not supposed hygiene. They're supposed to come and check you, not to pay.
No, you will pay.
You're going to pay.
There's a
Are you
levy,
okay
and
with
it
it?
goes between 150, 100. You would pay. Food handlers.
Is it to an
I'm
government
okay
account?
with the food handlers.
I don't think.
Yeah, food handlers is okay because you have to run tests for the staff, and that's whether they come or not. We have to do it, and that's okay. So to get a certificate, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They can inspect, get a certificate, but you pay.
No, but the one that, when you were talking about TV, I remember there was a day I had a
TV license. That's
Yeah,
it.
yes,
TV license.
It's crazy.
And I had no TV.
No, but you see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There was this day I had an order. So I have a car that you can see through what I was taking. So from that marketplace, I saw these guys who were red. And all of them, they were, they wanted to enter inside my
Yeah.
car.
For what? Because you had
and they told me
a monitor.
No, they told me that I'm using my car for business. So I'm supposed to pay. I said, if
How?
you don't get the hell out, I'm going to cross your legs. So you see, this is the thing, because from the office they come from, if they don't bring back returns,
Revenue.
Yeah.
They have
I think
to.
they don't pay them and all that, so so that's the problem we're having. And I told the guy that this is my car. I had an order, and it's because you can see through it. That's why you're coming to jack me if it was something that was covered. So I think the biggest problem we have here is that regulators, one, they're not doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a regulator because they think they can get something from you. But you see, why are you going to pay for service that is not being rendered?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is
it's
crazy.
very crazy. And I see
Yeah.
a lot of people are writing. Nigerians are protesting. But let's go straight and take a story. An experienced businesswoman here in Abuja who was very bitter about certain things, and then she decided to share her daily life story as she does her work. Is it ready, director?
I do business. I am into consumables. And over the years, I've been in business and I've noticed that the major thing in business is to make sure that you're satisfying a need. That need that made you go into that business in the first place. And when you are doing it, as time goes on, you should be getting better at it. Like if you know what people ask you more for at the place, you try to stock more of that. So that way the business will be going more than stocking things you like, and that's not what the people in your area or come to look for at your place. I can't just get up and start stocking things that are not asked for in my place, or when I stock them, at the time I tried them, they didn't move and they ended up expiring. I will not go back. No, you go on with what people need. And in getting your business right, first off, majorly is the staffing. Staff is a plus or a minus to especially consumables, because there are a lot of issues. One, from theft, they steal the items, they steal your money, they frustrate you kind of. But you don't stop your business because of the frustrations. You look for ways around it. So one of the ways around is to try to make sure you have measures in place, like have your CCTV, have your records right, so that when you check your records and they are missing, and of course before you employ somebody, make sure they have guarantors who you can hold. Those are responsible, that you can say, okay, you're responsible for this, do this, and then this is what the person you guaranteed at my place did, and they can take responsibility. And what is the major cause of all these things? I think I will have to blame maybe the government, especially in this matter, because like this year, the challenge of this VAT stuff, now everything is being vetted. They say not food items that are not vetted are those ones that are not packaged. And when you look at most Nigerian products, they are packaged. So basically, plus and minus, you're only not paying for VAT on ugu and those ones that are, but other things like your seasoning, your flavors, your even bread, when it's sliced, is packaged, but the unsliced is unpackaged. I mean, your normal biscuit that somebody can buy and buy a bottle of mineral and drink and make it for a day, a meal, if that's the little they can afford, is a problem. So I think if the government will go on to look at the taxes, I think that would do a long way. And majorly, business owners suffer in the hand of do I call them tariff, or is it still, I don't know, levies? Yeah, call them levies. You have in Abuja here, you have the FCT come to collect, same levy AMA come to collect. Last year I was going back and forth in court because I'll pay to FCT, AMA could say is their own, AMA will pay like that. And so what I did was I'll just pay for one and get ready to be going to court with one. The only positive thing about it last year was that the judge was able to say, okay, if you have paid, you have paid. Next year, pay with these people. Now that next year has come. It looked like it never come. If I now go to pay with the other people will still take me to court. So it's back and forth. If government will help us to streamline these things, know who you pay what to, and make it public so that you pay, you have rest. Speak to them, let them harmonize themselves and not tax, keep collecting, making us to suffer so much. Business owners suffer a lot in Nigeria, and come to think of it, without small business owners, the economy will be in shambles, because we give employment to, do I say more than 80%? Because so many people here, some are graduates, they don't have job, some are not graduates, they don't have job. At least here we accommodate them, because if you can read and write, if you can speak English, you can attend to somebody, if you can do like POS, then you are eligible to have a job in a grocery store. And so I think government should look for a way to help small business owners or middle business owners, because when you say small, the mind always goes to the women in the market. Besides the women in the market, those who are in stores, they are middle business owners. They need help, from policies to making sure that there's a suitable environment for us to trade in, to be able to do well. And then again, bringing me to the worst situation is the interest rate. Is a lot. The banks give you loan quite okay if you go, but with the interest, now again it brings me to why goods will be expensive. The interest rate, your goods are high because of the interest rate, then the tax you add, tax is high again, then the person will think that is just given to the bank, but we are all suffering it. So it still boils down to what goes around comes around, and so it's still bulk story is on the lap of the government. If they can make it better, of course we know ways to do this, and then everywhere people will get better. At least Nigerians can breathe, you know, for once. This is another one. They all of a sudden, on band C, when we recharge 50,000, we get 750 units. One morning I woke up, I charged 50,000, I got 200. Why? We have been moved to band A, no warning, nothing. Now they say, okay, if they move you to band A, you get more light, you get more time of light. It doesn't happen. So you end up paying more for the same value you were getting before.
Nigerians will breathe though, but when that was going on, I noticed you were collaborating and nodding and adding your own. You have the flow.
Okay, I mean, she said it all.
Yeah.
You know, she was spot on it. If they can streamline this, I call them tax collectors. That's what I call them. You know, if they can streamline it, and you know that this is what you're paying for the year, you know, this is what you're supposed to pay, this is what you need to pay, and so on. And also she spoke about the interest rates. I was just like, oh my God. I don't know how this thing works. And then banks will say they're helping you. Oh, we want to help business owners to grow. And then you're charging ridiculous amounts of interest rates. And you struggle. Listen, we struggle. You know, we struggle every time to pay. And at the end of the day, you come back home and you ask yourself, after everything taken, you're like, is it worth it?
Try.
You know, am I working for people? Am I working for suppliers? Who really am I working for at the end of the day? Am I working for landlord? You know, it's quite much, and I think there's something they can do about it. These interest rates are
ridiculous.
They're really painful. The only one that probably you can, you know, lean on is BOI, and then BOI takes forever, and then
no person.
To get it.
Thank you, and then you know you need to bring, you know, your great grandfather's birth certificate and stuff like that. You know, so. Oh, it's not easy. It's
okay.
I think grandfathers don't have birth certificates.
Well, they will ask you to bring it. That's where the problem is.
That's where the problem. That's the catch there.
You have to go and look for it.
Okay, people are writing it, and I think Aisha, this one is still on you. It says, please, can the guest tell us more about what Vinegar does in her farm? This program is so
I was
educative.
going to ask after the show.
You're going to ask after the show?
Vinegar. Yeah, you know, so Abuja has a lot of termites. If you know that, the grounds in Abuja is just termites. So I have this large space, and every year I look at it, oh, let me grow this. I said, but termites, you know, where my house in Jos, I grew things. When I was in Jos, I was growing things, and I'm like, what is all this, you know? And you know, you have to spray termites and this and that, and they're now planting it. And I said, no, this is a killer. So I researched and I found out that I could do it with vinegar. And so I started treating the grounds with vinegar. And
you put it on a knapsack spray and spray?
Yes, you do. But what I did was to walk on the soil, you know, walk on it, till the soil with
shovel.
Yes, and then you know, you put vinegar. To treat the ground, you must put lots of vinegar.
And with water, you mix the vinegar with water?
No, you just pour vinegar. You pour a lot of vinegar, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then after that, when you are now planting, you plant and it starts to grow, and you see some, well, I do vinegar every week. Okay. So because I don't spray and I don't use pesticides or all this fertilizer, no, I just do cow dung and then
the residue from your food.
Yes, that's all I do. So with that, you know, if you're not careful,
compost,
you lose a lot of things. So you do a lot of vinegar, and vinegar helps.
Is it not expensive?
You can use bicarbonate of soda.
Is it affordable?
Organic farming is not cheap.
Okay.
That's the truth. But
But,
if you do, but you can do it in little pots. You can do it in little pots. You don't have to do it on the ground.
Baking soda.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take more. My advice to all small businesses is to download a record keeping app on your phone.
Yeah.
You can use technology to solve most of your bookkeeping and data collection problems. Example, well, I'm not going to read this example. It just says, study how it works. Also, you use AI to deepen research on your line of business. You'll be shocked how helpful they can be. This is Chigozie from Lagos. Chigozie, I thank you for that, expo for the business people. Is there anyone that inspires all of you, your various businesses, and why? You didn't tell us your name, but we'll get to answer that question. Let me quickly take a little bit more. You will tell us who inspires you. Okay, good morning to you all. I have always loved your conversation. The first I watched was last week, Second Chances, and Lady J. I hope you got the name right. The fashion designer. Okay, I hope I got the name right. Yes, her name is Joy. The fashion designer. You said you have a peace of mind doing that fashion tailoring business. Good morning to our beautiful ladies. Thank you for this show. I love it. Truly, Madam Aisha, I feel you're concerning with these tax collectors. They are on a mission to stifle and crush our small businesses in Abuja. And then he says, Bio, I will ask you for your grandfather's birthday. And then gave us
I like that.
Yes. Right. So somebody asked a question that I think we should. Who inspires you to do what you're doing?
For me, there's this American motivational speaker, Lisa Nichols, who hit rock bottom and then was able to build her life all over again. And she went for this training, one particular training, so many times until she could master it. She inspired me that no matter what happens to you, because when I hit my own version of my own rock bottom, I honestly didn't think I could get back up. So she inspired me to get back up and keep pushing.
Okay.
Tough one for me. Who inspired me? Actually, a lot of things just inspired me. Mine was travels. I would travel places, go to restaurants, and see things done properly. And I'm like, so do they have two heads? What's wrong in us doing things and doing it properly? And that was why I was inspired by so many restaurants, so many chefs on Food Network, which I watched years and years and daily, and see people, doing business, doing restaurant business, doing it properly. And so I was inspired by that. And I believe that if I come back, I can do the same here.
Right.
Who inspired me? The thing here is that I love to dress. I grew up knowing, because I don't drink, I don't smoke. So what I liked was dressing up. And I used to see Sisiaba. Growing up in Lagos, I used to see Sisiaba. And that was my kick. And I said, okay, let me dress up. Let me look nice, because I want to bring out happiness, because people say plus size women don't dress up. But you see now, if everybody sees Jingles by Joy, they know that plus sizes always look good.
Yes, always look good. Okay. So I'm sure you're only who inspires me.
No, but the funny thing,
Sorry,
you inspired me
the program.
The program is so who inspired you?
Oh wow, Director, I have a minute to say it. Because a whole lot of people inspired me. First of all, it was my parents, especially my mom. She worked so hard. She was into a whole lot of things and did it so well. And then as time went on, I think my children encouraged me more too. Because there's always this competition in the house for somebody to get something done and done well. And then when you do it well, you get a lot of cheers. Oh, mommy, you did this. I'm so happy. So you're encouraged to do even more. And on that lovely note, find your inspiration wherever you are. This 2026, it's your year of victory, and you must win in your businesses. No, darling.
No, darling.
See you.
Yeah,